Here I start by gluing some boards together that will make up the bulk of the body. Now I'm applying some additional clamps that will help keep these boards perfectly lined up so that it's less work cleaning them up later, and so that when the next boards are glued on there won't be any complications. And here wiping off the glue helps me see how well the boards are aligned. Definitely got some cleanup to do on the back. Here I'm using a chisel to remove excess glue from one side of the boards before I move on to using a sander. Okay, so I need to sand off the rest of the glue that's left on the board. And the way I do this, I clamp a towel down onto the table so that the board won't slide around while I'm sanding. And that works a little bit better than clamping the board itself to the table, because then there would be clamps in the way of sanding that I'd have to keep moving. Now I sand the surfaces of the glued boards to get them as smooth as possible so that when I go to glue the next boards on, they'll have a solid contact. Much cleaner. Now I cut out some pieces of veneer that will go on the front and back of the board that I just sanded, as well as be used for some of the details on the front of the body. One piece of veneer. It's been very humid lately, so it's wobbly. There it goes. Number 3. I put clamps on the boards to make sure that the pieces of veneer have solid contact. Now we are preparing the piece of Birdseye Maple that will make up the front of the body. As you see, we're going to be splitting the width of this board so that it can be bookended open, and I do not recommend attempting this technique at home. Doesn't quite get all the way through. Unfortunately, this board would not fit on the bandsaw, so this part had to be done by hand. And the body blank now is too large to fit in our planer, so I have to use our belt sander to clean off the burn marks and level the boards so that they are flat for the next piece that's going to go on top. Hopefully you can see there the way we split the board the way we did, so that now the grain pattern is mirrored on both sides. Okay, so here I've got the template that I've drawn up for the body shape, and it's taped down onto the boards right now, and I've got the outline traced on. So now I just need to take the template back off and then go and cut it out. Now I do a rough cutout of the body shape on the bandsaw, and I'll clean up the finer details of the shape on the drum sander later. Okay, now I use a drum sander to get all this excess off, get it down to the line. final shape. Here I use the drill press to cut out pockets where the pickups will go. Okay, so that's most of the work done. I'm going to have to go in with a Dremel later and clean those up some more. Now I need a way to get some wires from the pickup that's going to be in here through to this pocket here. So I've got these lines drawn and I'm going to have to cut a channel for those wires to go through. Here we're preparing the front of the body so that we can apply the decorative piece of veneer, and we're also going to apply another piece to the back to make the body itself a bit thicker. Just a quick view of this after being glued. You can see all the extra glue getting squeezed out. Looks like there's a good seal all the way around the whole thing, which is really nice and exactly what I wanted. Now I need to use the drum sander again to remove the excess veneer that we just applied. This is why I keep spares. I'm using a draw knife to remove some material from the back of the guitar in the spot where it would rest against the player's body, and this is to make it more comfortable to play. Now I'm using a rubber mallet and a chisel along all of the lines that I've drawn for the details on the front of the body, so that when I come back to remove the bulk of the material with a Dremel later, I'm less likely to damage the parts that I want to keep. I have a lot of cleanup work to do. Now that the maple has been cleaned up, I use the same Dremel to round over the edges of the walnut that's remaining. Now I do the finish sanding on the entire body by hand. I got the slot cut for the neck. Fits right in. Next, I create a cavity in the back of the body to hold the electronics. All the wires have a clear path into where all the electronics are going to be, from the front to the back. I have to drill this one a little bit deeper so that the threads from the switch can actually get all the way through. It's a shorter thread than the pots. Quite a bit farther. That'll work. So one thing I've noticed that this is a much narrower guitar body than what I normally make. And it turns out that this plate that has to go on here for the jack is too wide. So I need to make something sort of like this. It's just a bit narrower. Luckily, got a nice piece of leftover veneer I should be able to make something with. Hey, at least it didn't break. So here's the plate that I made the other day for the jack. You can see I've got the jack screwed into it already. Just make sure it fits. But what I did, because the side of the body is curved and I need this to be flat up against the body, is I soaked it in water and clamped it onto a curved surface. So now it's also curved to match the body. Okay. See if it fits. Perfect. Now I'll carve out some space around the pocket on the back of the body so that I can fit a plate into it to cover the electronics. Now I'm going to put some spray varnish on the little plate that I made. At this point I go back to do some fine detail sanding on the body before I apply the finish. Here I begin applying the finish to the body, and you can really see how it starts to bring out the color of the wood. Now, before anybody asks how I made the neck, I did not. I have to purchase any necks that I use on guitars that I make because I do not have the necessary tools to properly make a guitar neck. Nice snug fit. Now, selector switch. So let me choose between which pickup is active, or if it's in the middle, both of them. This one's a really snug fit. Now these two pins that will hold the tailpiece. And drill the holes to just the right size. I have to come back to that one later. Then we got pins for the bridge. I have to come back to those two to get them in there all the way. Okay. I got the pickups. This one goes here. I've got this hole I've drilled down here. Lets the wires get out into the cavity on the back. And got the pickup for this part, and I've got this little hole I made through here. Get the wire over to the side, and then feed that through there too. I just need to screw these into place. Okay, so now I've got these little holes drilled here in the back of the head. And fit in all of the tuners, which have the this little peg here that fits into that hole and keeps this from turning under the string tension. Okay, so all of those are in. Now start putting these pieces on. Last one. Okay. All installed.